Welcome back to In Pursuit of Truth. This is your host, Sir Patrick Mack. We've got 5 new Q posts. Do you like Q posts? Good, because I may have mentioned we have 5 new ones. All right, let's get started. 1 minute after the hour of 2 p.m. Interesting theory. It's nice when you can work in peace. Then we have a link to big league politics. Hashtag release the text. No redactions. Q. 16 minutes after the hour of 2 p.m., responding to an Anon who posts this picture, says just going to post pictures of a moon child to piss off the shills because we know John Legend, at John Legend, our new love is here. Luna Simone Stevens, born on Thursday the 14th. We couldn't be happier. And then we have Q responding, how many pics can you find of John Legend and HRC regarding Haiti? Marching into the darkness lyrics. Follow the stars. It's everywhere. Q. 40 minutes after the hour of 3 p.m., responding to what looks like a tweet from Sarah Carter, verified account at Sarah Carter DC. Breaking news, Strzok and Page text messages have been delivered to Congress on Hannity Radio now. Q says, important to note, text only in kill brackets. R in kill brackets equals renegade, not Rod Rosenstein. Q. 48 minutes after the hour of 8 p.m., reread precursor. They are buying time. National crisis. Some, top eyes on first in kill brackets, are calling for immediate arrests. Cooperating. Still have access. Controlled. Kept atop. Chair plus. National security issue. POTUS. Reveal Gmail draft comms. Who had access? Legal cases building. You have a voice. Be heard. Patience isn't always easy, but vital to get right. Q. 1 minute after the hour of 9 p.m., responding to an Anon who says, Q, thank you for arriving. Frustration is very high. Can marshals physically remove texts, tapes, etc.? Q says, we have it all. The right people have the information. Good people are acting on the information. Think Google. Think Eric Schmidt departure. Think North Korea. Many drafts. Many shared users, foreign and domestic in kill brackets. Variable access. Codes. Fake emails. Game forum comms. New intel revealed today. Gmail comms. And then we have Renegade and EG, which looks like it's evergreen. When do you call a plumber? Ongoing investigations require. And then we have Q and an authorization code. Okay, let's take you back to the first post at 1 minute after the hour of 2 p.m. Interesting theory. It's nice when you can work in peace. And then we have this link here to big league politics. Hashtag release the text. No redactions. Well, it looks to me very simply like Q wants us to start working on this hashtag release the text. That's going to be the next order of the day, kind of pushing for that. These unredacted text to get released. We know that Congress got them now, but what are they going to do with them? And what are they going to, they've been debating over what to do with all these text messages. Do we have all the text messages? What are these redactions? What's going on? We want no redactions. We want to know exactly what's going on. Let me take you over to this article here. And this is Big League Politics. And let's get into this. Here's why Jeff Sessions might be playing 4D chess. This is by Larry Schweikert, April 25th. In January 2017, right before the inauguration, I was in Trump Tower with Steve Bannon. What about Hillary, I asked. You gonna prosecute her? He waved me off. That's Sessions' deal. On March 2nd, Attorney General Jeff Sessions recused himself from any existing or future investigations of any matters related in any way to the campaigns for President of the United States. Everyone forgot the line that followed. This announcement should not be interpreted as confirmation of the existence of any investigation or suggestive of the scope of any such investigation, he added. But what he did not say was that the announcement should not be interpreted as denial of the existence of any such investigation. Well, that's a mouthful right there. So he's saying that there's not really an investigation, but it's not a denial of an investigation, just in case you were investigating the fact that there might be an investigation. Okay. The swamp. And virtually all of the hysterical right that was conditioned to being stabbed in the back by its elected or appointed officials merely assumed that no investigation was going on. Surprise. In fact, Sessions inherited an ongoing investigation by the Inspector General Michael Horowitz. There was an investigation underway, perhaps many, at the very moment Sessions uttered those words. Horowitz had been, in the words of Arlo Guthrie, oppressed, suppressed, repressed, sitting on the Group W bench. His legitimate investigations under the Obama regime had been squelched, sidetracked, or unceremoniously canceled. Horowitz was one of those rare Washington creatures, a man who actually has a sense of honesty in his mission. From the first moments in the administration, Jeff Sessions knew what he had in Horowitz. It's not clear exactly when the plan came to Sessions, but clearly it was before his recusal. Both Trump and Sessions, after the election, had been shocked to see the level of hostility by the left to a duly constituted American election. Sessions personally found people he formerly thought of as friends in the Senate, accusing him of the most vile attitudes. He was painted as the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan. Remember that, the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, an organization he had crushed as Attorney General in Alabama. Trump had already told Rush Limbaugh he was shocked at the level of vitriol that remained by January, but had now understood it would not evaporate quickly. If it took Sessions any longer, it's doubtful once his confirmation hearings concluded that he was under any illusions as to the enemy he faced. Certainly such a foe would not permit a legitimate investigation of the past administration's crimes by the Attorney General of the new administration. Yet, investigated they must be. There was too much rampant criminality on display. The Clinton emails, the U1 scandal, the Clinton Foundation's pay-for-play structure, the reports, as yet unproven, of deep state resistance to the administration within the FBI and the Department of Justice. Sessions could not ignore these illegalities. At the same time, politically, he could not prosecute him. He, not the real culprits, would become the object of the opposition's legal, legislative, and propaganda efforts. In short, Sessions could not personally lead the attack on the swamp, nor could he ignore the criminality. He needed to be seen as doing nothing, prosecuting the dark web or Medicare fraud or MS-13 while someone else did the heavy lifting. Remember, we voted for the Q team to do the heavy lifting. His solution was elegant in design, brilliant in conception. If he could not investigate, he certainly would be obligated to follow through on demands from other legitimate sources. The Inspector General or Congress, who discovered criminal behavior and demanded action. Much of this was handled by his number two, Rod Rosenstein, who quietly, in mid-2017, initiated separate investigations of the Uranium One scandal and Hillary's emails. Rosenstein also picked up and continued an ongoing FBI investigation of the Clinton Family Foundation, supporting it with offices in Los Angeles, New York, D.C., and Little Rock. Throughout 2017, Sessions cleverly and effectively maintained the illusion of doing nothing when it came to bringing cases against the prime elements of the deep state. At the same time, the special counsel, Robert Mueller, was in some eyes running rampant, issuing indictments for Michael Flynn and Paul Manafort. The dichotomy was more than many conservatives could take. Here was Flynn, a highly decorated soldier, pleading guilty to a lie that even the FBI investigators at the time concluded was not a lie, while people such as Tony Podesta, Andrew McCabe, and others not only walked free, but seemed to prosper. Then came early 2018, and the real design of the Sessions counter-coup began to leak out, often from Sessions himself in the context of replying to congressional queries. First, it was revealed that there was an investigation of Hillary's emails that had been going on for months. Next, in January, Sessions announced that Cody Highland was appointed prosecutor of the Clinton Family Foundation in Little Rock. Notice that a grand jury was impaneled that there also appeared, but so far it is not clear if Highland himself impaneled that grand jury, if it was a routine grand jury for the district, or if Highland repurposed the grand jury. In short order, it was then revealed, again in a response to Congress, that there was an ongoing investigation into the U1 scandal. It was later revealed by Sessions that there was not only a prosecutor looking into the various illegalities that Horowitz was uncovering, which obviously Sessions knew about, but that Sessions named the prosecutor John Huber, and it was later leaked that Huber had impaneled a grand jury, and that the investigation that Huber took over had been going on for months. By that time, it was clear to all, but the most obtuse, that Sessions had been silently setting up 3 separate investigations in late 2017 and was using the opportunity of congressional requests to make them public. There were other DOJ investigations too into the Clinton DNC machine, including an FEC violation that the Federal Elections Commission itself was investigating. But the real fireworks were just beginning, based on the interplay between the House Intelligence Committee, which had its ongoing investigation of Democrat crimes in the election, Senator Charles Grassley of the Senate Judiciary Committee, ditto, Congressman Bob Goodlatte of the House Judiciary Committee and Senator Ron Johnson of the Senate Oversight Committee and the Inspector General, who fulfilled Congress's request for documents. Sessions presented the image of being out of touch. No documents were released to Congress until there had been a very public and very contentious debate. That was by design. Sessions' strategy all along had been to investigate in the background, but force either Congress or Horowitz to the forefront as the origination of the request. Well, we're just sitting over here at Justice drinking our mint juleps while these guys request all the documents. Oh, and by the way, Sessions would add, here you go, and we have many more you might want to see. From early 2017, Jeff Sessions realized that he was engaged in both a legal criminal battle and a public relations fight. He could never succeed in the former without simultaneously winning the latter, and for the PR offensive to work, Sessions could not be perceived as leading the charge or being aggressive. It worked out better than Sessions could have dreamed, as the DOJ received a criminal referral for Andrew McCabe in April 2018. James Comey, one of the most arrogant men ever to hold any office, released his book that had information in it that again prodded Congress to demand his private memos. Once again, after a public standoff, Sessions relented and handed over Comey's memos, which incriminated him through his leaking of classified materials. Sessions had gotten McCabe and Comey to build their own gallows. Meanwhile, Robert Mueller sits in a gilded cage, sequestering his leftist charges so that they can minimal no harm, running from the Deutsche Bank to the Seychelles to porn stars. To an unbiased observer, he would look like someone wanting to fail. The coup de grace appears to be close. Rudy Giuliani has joined Trump's legal team, and it's worth noting he is a prosecutor, not a defense attorney. The big Inspector General report is scheduled to release by May 15th, with yet another IG report specifically on the FISA abuse to be delivered at a future date not yet stipulated. Slowly but surely, Sessions has maneuvered every piece on the board to indict virtually every one of the deep state, up to and including Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Will he? It's played out the way he intended for 2 years. My money is on Jeff. Well, kind of a long article, but I do think it sums it up all pretty well. There are a couple key things I think to take away from this. Now, obviously, Jeff Sessions outwardly, lots of people have been like, what is wrong with this guy? Why is he dragging his feet? Why is he not doing anything? You've got all this obvious attempts of collusion and all these futile attempts to bring down the president and sort of tie him to any kind of Russian collusion. We haven't found anything. And this has dragged on for about a year and a half now, okay? Well, remember, this is some important wording, I think. Attorney General Jeff Sessions recused himself from any existing or future investigations of any matters related in any way to the campaigns for President of the United States. Okay, so he hasn't recused himself from just everything. He's recused himself from any matters related to the campaign. Everyone forgot the line that followed. This announcement should not be interpreted as confirmation of the existence of any investigation or suggestive of the scope of any such investigation, he added. But what he did not say was that the announcement should not be interpreted as denial of the existence of any such investigation. Okay, so Jeff Sessions recused himself of all this a while back. Meanwhile, you had Rod Rosenstein, who was picking up Uranium One and all the Hillary emails. We'll see how that all is going to turn out. Rosenstein has obviously slow-walked a lot of information. Is that strategically? I don't know. Then we have the issue with Flynn, who looks like is probably going to be coming back into the picture very, very soon. Now, I think the real key takeaway with this article is at the end here. The coup de grace appears to be close. Rudy Giuliani has joined Trump's legal team. Okay, well, Rudy Giuliani, of course, he was former mayor. But remember, keep in mind, he was a top prosecutor. And for those of you younger folks who maybe don't remember, before that, he really came to fame by going after the Sicilian mob in New York City. I won't go way into that story, but those of you probably remember there was a big hit on him. People wanted him dead. And he cleaned up New York at a time where it was a really, really difficult time to clean up New York. And that is worth noting. And he says it is here too. It's worth noting he is a prosecutor, not a defense attorney. So we're going to have this big IG report coming out May 15th. It's a couple weeks. I guess a few weeks, yeah. we'll see what's going on. But until then, it looks to me very clearly like Q is wanting us to just get the idea public that we want to see no redactions, okay? Hashtag release the text. Feel free to hit up my Twitter, hit up Twitter, but let's put out that release the text, okay? I think that's what really clearly the takeaway at this point. They've got everything already. They just need public demand for it. That's what's really, really going to help get this out into the forefront. Okay, let's move on. Okay, taking you over here, 16 minutes past the hour of 2 p.m. Q responds to an Anon who posts this picture here. Just going to post pictures of a moonchild to piss off the shills because we know. And then there's a John Legend tweet here regarding their birth of their daughter, and I don't want to talk about that because that's not my business. How many pics can you find of JL and HRC regarding Haiti? Marching into the darkness, lyrics, follow the stars, it's everywhere. Okay, well, I want to touch on this a little bit. There's lots that we could talk about here, but Q is mostly sort of just acknowledging here that a lot of these stars and a lot of the human trafficking that's going on in places like Haiti, it's everywhere, okay? And it's involving a lot of these stars. And we have John Legend here, this R&B soul singer, okay? And he is married to Chrissy Teigen, who is an Instagram model. I don't know if it's Teigen or Teigen, so I'm going to call her Teigen. That way I have a 50% chance of getting it right. What is this moonchild thing here? Okay, well, the moonchild thing, from what I understand, is sort of this satanic ritual where they actually demonize the fetus, and yikes, okay? Now, I'm assuming that's what this Anon is talking about. But in my search for that, I found this, and this is educateyourself.org. And we won't go way into this, but I want to make sure that you had it. It's a great read. I haven't finished it yet, but there's some really wild stuff in here. Really cool. Anyway, this is the Illuminati formula to create an undetectable total mind control slave. Chapter 1, the selection and preparation of the victim. And this is by Fritz Springmeier and Cisco Wheeler. I'm just going to read you some of these headers here. A, selection based on genetics and dissociative abilities. B, availability. You got to have availability. I mean, if the guy's got a job, it's going to be tough to program you. C, mental and physical features. And then they go on to talk about the monarch, mind control, Joseph, is it Mengele? The Illuminati, Sharon Tate, beta alters, John Gittinger, the personality assessment system. So there's lots of really cool stuff. The Wessler intelligence tests, MC Escher's artwork, lots of really cool stuff. And then these are some of the organizations that have practiced trauma-based mind control: the Air Force, Army Intelligence, Atomic Energy Commission, Boeing, British Intelligence, Bureau of Narcotics, Bureau of Prisons, Catholic Church, CIA, Charismatic Movement, Church of Satan, Church of Scientology, Service, Club 12 and Club 41, Country Music Industry, DIA, DOJ, FBI, Freemasonry, GEPAN, German Intelligence, GHG, Hollywood, the House of Saud in Saudi Arabia, the Illuminati, the Internal Revenue Service, Ku Klux Klan, the Mafia, the Masons, the Modine, Mossad, Mormon Church, NASA, NSA. Oh my gosh, the list goes on and on. Folks, it's the All-Stars. All right. So anyway, educate yourself if you like. Interesting little article here, but that's what I found in the moonchild thing. But the moonchild thing is essentially, this satanic ritual sort of thing where they I don't know how they do it or whatever. But now I don't know if that's the case, and I don't want to get on these Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. I don't know these people. All people are presumed innocent, okay, until proven guilty. And but Q's obviously saying that there is a connection there, and he says, how many pics can you find of JL and HRC? Well, we can find them. Okay, there's one right there. There's one right there. There's one right there. Let's see if we can find another one somewhere. I bet you we can. There's one right there. Okay, you see the point. They campaigned for the Clintons, and John Legend was very vocal about Haiti. He's very vocal on Twitter lately. Was very, very pro Hillary. This is back on EW.com, Sundance. John Legend talks about his Hope for Haiti telethon song. John Legend fans who were thrilled to hear the musician sing Motherless Child at the Hope for Haiti telethon can thank George Clooney and YouTube, according to Legend, who flew directly to Sundance after the telethon to help promote the Davis Guggenheim documentary, Waiting for Superman. It was Clooney who called Legend's manager to ask him to participate. Not only did the actor enlist the Grammy-winning artist, but he also had picked the song out for Legend to sing. I had done it years ago and they found it on YouTube, says Legend of the spiritual song that dates back to the slavery era. I was pretty impressed they found it because I never would have thought to pick that song. Well, of course you wouldn't, because it's a slavery era song and you're singing in Haiti. But you see what the deal is, okay? He was raising money for Haiti. He raised a bunch of money for Haiti. And to be fair, he raised a lot more money than I ever raised for Haiti. Well, John Legend has a lot of charities and foundations that he supported. And Q did say to follow the stars. So I can't follow the stars, but I can look to the stars. So we're on looktothestars.org. This is John Legend. He's donated to a lot of charities. And again, to be fair, probably a lot of these are really, really good, but there's a few that stand out here I'd like to show you. Malaria No More, UNICEF, the Art of Elysium, the Red Cross, Red, Planned Parenthood, Oxfam. Oh, some of the greatest hits, folks. Oxfam. You remember Oxfam from such classics as February 13, off of the Washington Post. Oxfam prostitution scandal widens to at least 3 countries. A confidence crisis spread through the international aid community Tuesday amid accusations that the charity Oxfam had buried reports that its workers had prostituted survivors of the Darfur genocide, a catastrophic earthquake in Haiti, and possibly disasters beyond those. Haitian President Jovenel Moise condemned those involved in the scandal, saying on Twitter that there is nothing more outrageous and dishonest than a sexual predator who uses his position as part of a humanitarian response to a natural disaster to exploit needy people in their moment of greatest vulnerability. How true is that, right? And that's what's been going on, folks. And that's what we're seeing, okay? Where, again, all these humanitarians that we keep talking about, these humanitarians, they set up these foundations. And they go to these countries where it's chaos, right? They've either experienced an earthquake or they've flooding or whatever it might be. And you've got these people and they're destitute and they're impoverished and they're desperate. And there's so much chaos going on that it's so easy for all these foundations like UNICEF and Red Cross, and to be fair, lots of truly well-meaning groups too, but we're seeing these connections with these large ones. UNICEF, Red Cross. We had the deal with Laura Silsby a couple years ago. All these people set up these foundations, and how do they get these foundations to get all these money? They find people like John Legend, okay, and all these big stars, and they raise this money, and many of them might be well-meaning, folks. I don't know John Legend's actual involvement in all this, but Q is clearly saying there's a connection here, okay? But these people get wrapped up with these foundations. These foundations come in under the guise of humanitarian work, and what we really find is that kids get trafficked in and out of the borders, and they set up sort of these international hubs, okay, and all these children are going everywhere, and we always see these stars, and these stars end up adopting these children from God knows where, okay, but they're not adopting anybody from Detroit, right? You see what's going on, okay? And they use these stars to kind of virtue signal, and he's been very, very vocal. We do know that about John Legend. This is from April 25th on his Twitter. The defining trait of Trump's campaign and political profile was his embrace of white supremacy. He made it clear every time he spoke. Some serious cognitive dissonance, to ignore that for the other X% you might find appealing. I guess I agree with greater than 1% of anyone's thoughts, though. Okay, well, this is a classic example by John Legend of projection here, but here we have this last line. I guess I agree with greater than 1% of anyone's thoughts, though. Well, any thinking man that likes to use any sort of Socratic reasoning would know that it's not a correct way to say that, okay? You're rhetorically sort of saying that you're in the majority, even though you're not technically saying it. That's what you're implying there. You're part of the majority. Well, John Legend, you don't speak for the majority, okay? You might be a great singer, okay? But you don't speak for the majority, and that's what they sort of do, and he's been speaking really, really loudly. Let me take you to another one here, and it's just a ways down. Oh, I'm sorry, let me see if it'll load here. Right down here. Please stop calling the police on black people who are just trying to live. Please stop. Police shoot us for no effing reason at all. Please stop. Okay, I'm not exactly sure in what it's in regards, I guess, to this Fooler initiative. I don't want to go into that, but anyway, you can see he's very, very vocal, and somebody else who's also been vocal in the media recently has been defending Trump, and that would be one Kanye West. Incidentally, John Legend knows Kanye West, and this is off of Kanye West's Twitter. At least it looks like it's verified here, okay? And Kanye posts this interaction here, and this was a message from John Legend saying, "Hey, it's JL. I hope you'll reconsider aligning yourself with Trump. You're way too powerful and influential to endorse who he is and what he stands for. As you know,
What you say really means something to your fans. They are loyal to you and respect your opinion. So many people who love you feel so betrayed right now because they know the harm that Trump's policies cause, especially to people of color. Don't let this be part of your legacy. You're the greatest artist of our generation. And Kanye brilliantly responds, I love you, John, and I appreciate your thoughts. You bringing up my fans or my legacy is a tactic based on fear used to manipulate my free thought. Score one for Kanye. Folks, I've been a musician all my life, and I would, I never spoke about Kanye. I never performed any Kanye. Kanye was always kind of hands-off for me. I was not a fan, but I am today. So, we're not talking about Kanye. We're talking about J Ledge, Marching into the Darkness lyrics. Let's read those lyrics. Let's take you over to AZ lyrics. Don't know if these are all correct, but it's actually called Marching into the Dark. What can you buy with the ultimate sacrifice if you don't believe in the afterlife? Oh, I still grieve remembering what you were like. Now what good is a dream when the dreamer dies? Some are better than good, greater than great. Some are misunderstood and they get told to wait. By all of the greatest, greatest of all, we're chasing their fading star. Who will be the latest to fall? We're marching into the dark. What if your what if your life was just in the day to day, and after you've gone, the world stays the same? Why should you love what you're going to lose anyway? Oh, I've imagined 100 ways. Some are just no good. Some will let it just fade. Some are misunderstood. We'll just have to wait. Because all of the greatest, greatest of all, we're chasing their fading star. Who will be the latest to fall? We're marching into the dark. Oh, heaven knows where we are, chasing the fading stars. Heaven knows where we are, motioning to the dark. Some are better than good and greater than great. Some are misunderstood, they get told to wait. Some are just no good, some will let it just fade. Some are misunderstood, we'll just have to wait. 'Cause all of the greatest, greatest of all, we're chasing their fading star. Wanna know who? Who will be the latest to fall? We're marching into the dark. I wanna go marching into the dark. All of the greatest, greatest of all. We're chasing their fading star. We're chasing their fading star. Who will be the latest to fall? Marching into the dark. Uplifting. Okay, so that's John Legend right there, marching into the darkness. So you see what's going on. Follow the stars. And I think that this is what's going on. Okay, so Kanye has kind of come out pro-Trump. And remember, he did about a year ago, and I think, we saw this sort of event where he went to Trump Tower, and he was speaking with Trump, and they came out, and he was real quiet, and everyone was kind of weirded out about it, and he had this weird hair color and whatever. I don't know. I'm not big on celebrity gossip, but I had to kind of I remember this story, and I remember him just saying, I just want to take pictures. The idea I'm getting is that he's been a supporter all along, and I think Trump is probably, it may very well be that there's a Trump team that is sort of advising him, hey, back off a little bit. This might be a really, really good time for you to start showing your support a little bit later on, which is about a year later now, and now he's being really, really vocal about this, and I think this is an interesting thing. Whether you like Kanye's music or not, he's a very influential person to a lot of people, and to start seeing these people are almost being conduits, and they're talking about Q now, you can start to see that Hollywood is going to start eating themselves. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's move on. 40 minutes after the hour of 3 p.m., Q is responding to what I'm assuming these are tweets. This is from Sarah Carter. Breaking news, Strzok and Page text message have been delivered to Congress on Hannity Radio now. Okay, we were talking about this. Is this the precursor? Is this the Moab, or is it the precursor? We're not really sure, okay? But we know that we've got all these texts, these 6 months of text that were missing previously, but they're heavily redacted. That wasn't what we wanted. We wanted the whole thing. We wanted it completely the way they're supposed to be. And well, of course, they're not going to do that. They're going to fight either way. So is this going to be more legal battles, more legal tie-ups? More than likely. We've seen a lot of that. Q is saying, important to note, text only. Evidently, there's no video. Evidently, there's no audio. I don't know, just text only. And then Q goes on to say R equals renegade. Okay, renegade is the handle, the Secret Service handle that was reserved for Barack Hussein Obama. And so I'm assuming that maybe instead of saying Hussein now, it will be R in kill box. So not exactly sure how that will relate to the kill box. Maybe they're just from now on, we're going to start referring to Hussein as renegade and not Rod Rowe. Okay, this is Rod Rowe right here. Q. 48 minutes past the hour of 8 p.m. Reread precursor. They're buying time. National crisis. Some top eyes on first are calling for immediate arrest. Cooperating. Still have access. Controlled. Kept at top. Chair plus. National security issue. POTUS. Reveal Gmail draft comms. Who had access? Legal cases building. You have a voice. Be heard. Patience isn't always easy, but vital to get right. Q. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's reread Precursor. What do we have about Precursor? Remember, it just took us just a couple days back. Remember, this was this Sarah Carter. DOJ will make the 6 months of missing texts that were eventually located by IG between Strzok and Page available to Congress sometime tonight or tomorrow, according to sources developing. Okay, now keep in mind, we just got these texts. We just got them, but they were heavily redacted. It wasn't what we wanted. It wasn't what we asked for. It was just more slow walking. Okay, we already know that. Keep in mind also, though, I also mentioned that in a couple weeks, we're going to get the real big IG report. I think that's probably going to be our incoming Moab. Now, of course, that's not what Q said. Q says red carpet event tonight, and he was, of course, talking about the state dinner and the dinner with Macron. What will the text reveal? Well, the text revealed that evidently there's evidence that we have that foreign entities and a lot of our own diplomatic officials were conspiring to possibly even kill the president. But either way, it wasn't good. Okay, now let's go back to the post. Oh, excuse me. They're buying time. Of course they are. They're they know they're going to have to cough up these texts. They know we're not going to sit there and read all this blacked out text. We're not going to do that. They know that's not going to happen. So what would buy them time? I would assume a national crisis. Okay? And that is, who knows, folks? Who knows? Now, it could also be, assuming, could it be an attempt on the president? Could it be, a strange weather event? Could it be a shooting? Could it be a bombing? Could it be a whatever? I don't know. I don't like to fearmonger, but that would be the thing that would buy them time. Some are calling for immediate arrest, cooperating. I'm taking that to mean that we've got some people. Could it be Paul Ryan? There are people that are on the top, and they're near the top, and they're calling for immediate arrest. They're really, they're playing along. They're cooperating. They've made their deals. Whatever deals have probably been made at this point have been already cut. I think from here on out, we're not going to see as many deals. But keep in mind, folks, when we're dealing with this kind of deep state, you're going to deal with a lot of bad people, and you're going to have to give them a deal. If you really want to win the war, you're going to have to sacrifice a couple battles, okay? So could it be that maybe some of these people that are cooperating, they still have access? Maybe they're still getting comms for us. Maybe that's part of the cooperating deal. You see what I'm saying? Okay? Controlled, kept at top. Meaning that that maybe the White Hats are in control and we're keeping them at the top because they do still have access and that they are cooperating. Now, to be honest, I don't know about these kill brackets. Top eyes on first. I'm not really sure, but I'm assuming that whoever's got the top eyes are looking at whatever's first. I don't know whatever's first, though. Not really much help there. Okay. Chair plus. Not sure about this either. I'm assuming plus could be Soros. So it could be something that we're looking at an organization that is chaired by Soros. National security issue, of course. All these texts, all these communications that were going on. Obviously, there had to be a national security issue. Otherwise, they would have just sent it. If it wasn't a big deal, they would have just sent it. Regarding POTUS, were they threatening his life? Were there other countries conspiring? Who was in on this? Whatever it is, reveals Gmail draft comms. Okay, let me explain. Probably a lot of you already know what these are, but let me explain it. It's actually quite easy, and I'm going to just give you a little bit of hyperbole here. So, you and I, we've got a Gmail account. We're going to set up a Gmail account together. All right, it's going to be knucklehead1@gmail.com. And I go over to your house and I knock on your door. I say, hey man, I set us up, knucklehead1@gmail.com, and I hand you a piece of paper. It's got the little password on it. You go inside. And you open it up, and you see that there's a draft there. Hasn't been sent yet, okay? And it's my message to you. Now, you can delete it. You can erase it. You can reply to it. But you don't click send. You just leave that draft there. And that's how they communicate, okay? Who had access? I don't know. John McCain? Loretta Lynch? Jim Comey? Huma Abedin? Wasserman Schultz? You name it. Who knows? Foreign entities? Legal cases building. Yeah, This is what Jeff Sessions has been doing all this time. This is what Jeff Sessions has been doing. They've been building tons and tons of cases, thousands upon thousands of indictments. And folks, patience isn't always easy, but keep in mind we've had tons of arrests. This Nexium thing blew things wide open. It really, really did. Okay, it's vital to get it right. Yes, it's vital to get it right. Keep in mind, we've got some of the best prosecutors on this job, and the reason is because they're lawyers too. Remember, the Clintons were both lawyers. They're lawyers too. This is not going to be easy. These cases have to be, it's vital. It's vital to get it right. I think you understand. Let's move on. 1 minute after the hour of 9 p.m., responding to an Anon, it says, Q, thank you for arriving. Frustration is very high. Can marshals physically remove texts, tapes, etc.? Q responds, we have it all. The right people have the information. Good people are acting on the information. Think Google. Think Eric Schmidt, departure. Think North Korea. Many drafts. Okay, well, you guys remember, Eric Schmidt, of course, has been in Google. They're in China. They're in North Korea. They were everywhere. Okay, why were they trying to get everywhere? They were trying to set up comms. They were trying to set up their own kind of thing, but they were much more nefarious than that. They wanted to mine everyone's data, so they were going to cut deals. They were going to cut big deals, and of course, Eric Schmidt, he's gone now. And what has happened with North Korea? Well, you know what happened with North Korea. Beautiful, beautiful video that you see now of the leaders meeting, and this is something so special. And nobody wants to talk about it. Well, we have all these drafts. We were just talking about the drafts, okay? That's how they were responding. Many shared users, foreign and domestic. So tons of people had it. Variable access. People were giving codes. People were giving all these things. They were using fake emails, and they were using game forum comms. Yeah, game forum comms, okay? So while all the Chads and Stacys are playing Call of Duty, McCain is selling all these missiles to Syria, and Lynch is making deals on the tarmac. Wow. All Gmail comms. Who else was in it? Renegade was in it. We know who Renegade is now, yeah? And then we get this EG, define Evergreen, EG. Okay, well, first of all, Evergreen, Hillary Clinton, folks, that was her security detail. Her name, her code name. Well, what is Evergreen? Define Evergreen. Evergreen, it means that it never, it's a perennial. It means it's always in bloom and always green. It's evergreen. The leaves don't die. When do you call a plumber? Well, you call a plumber when you got a leak. And we had leaks, didn't we? We had leaks. We had Comey leaks. We had McCabe leaks. We had all kinds of leaks, didn't we? Ongoing investigations require, there it is, ... is that evidence. Ongoing investigations require evidence. Of course they do. Well, they've got evidence. They have it all. The right people have the information. Good people are acting on the information. Let's hope so. I think you see what's going on, folks. There we go. Now, and then we have this authorization codes, and I'll be quite honest with you. This is the stuff I don't know. This looks like something, it'll remain to be seen. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 48 hours we find out what this is. But at the moment, I don't know. Okay? Those are your Q posts. I want to share one more thing before I go, and it is a video, so let's take you there. As many of you know, the historic North-South Korea summit is underway. The two leaders crossed the DMZ line. It was a very, it was a cool moment. Many of you have probably already seen it, and I'm just going to play you. This is about a 2.5 minute clip here, and then I'm going to let this go ahead and play out. So, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me. For those of you who are new to my videos, please keep in mind you will probably get unsubscribed or unchecked at any point. I post videos almost daily, so if you're not hearing from me, please just look for me. In Pursuit of Truth, you'll always find me. That is our little game we're going to have to play with YouTube. Until then, I really appreciate the support. So I will leave you out on this, and because I'm a little cheeky, I decided to go to CNN to watch it play. So cheers to all of you. This is Sir Patrick Mack. I will see you next time. Stay hungry for real news. Here we go.
There you see Kim Jong-un, leader of North Korea, is going to be for the first time stepping over into South Korea this morning on the Korean Peninsula, a historic one at that. The leaders of North and South are about to meet to negotiate a peace settlement and denuclearization. President Moon shaking hands with Kim Jong-un. Extraordinary moment to see these two leaders there, Kim Jong-un stepping over into South Korea. That has never happened before. Posing there for more photographs on the South Korean side of the DMZ, an area traditionally full of tension. The setting for the summit, the Peace House, which is on the southern side of the demilitarized zone. CNN's Will Ripley and Christian Amanpour join us now. Christian, I want to start off with Will Ripley, who's actually near the DMZ. Will, as we continue to look at these pictures, it's really extraordinary to see these two men continuing to hold hands and now having a discussion.
This is the first time in the history of North Korea that a leader has stepped foot on the south side of the DMZ, and it shows really a new willingness on the part of Kim Jong-un to try to engage with South Korea and really ultimately engage with the United States. This has been a carefully orchestrated thaw that began with North Korea's last missile launch, their intercontinental ballistic missile launch in November. Kim Jong-un and President Moon Jae-in using the Olympics to really kick off this new era of diplomacy, which is such an abrupt U-turn from the military escalation that we've been reporting about for much of the last couple of years. I've been in North Korea many times when they've launched missiles. I've been there just after nuclear tests, and to sit here now and to see Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in walking together in Panmunjom towards the Peace House, it is really almost words can't describe what this moment means.